This is a video to walk you through the pink assessments button. I have used in a new profile, so this one should be the same as yours. If I click on the assessments button, this is the screen that you should be met by. Now the first thing to do in order to put some data into this section of your database is to use the multi-entry. Now the easiest one I find is to do the age range one. You open this and then open this second window by pressing this button. Now this acts as the same thing as when you were tracking using the highlighting sheets. So rather than highlighting a criteria statement that you feel a child is secure in, you will now just click the button. So I'm only going to do a few to show you so it's easy to see at an overview. So all you would do is read the criteria statement, and if you feel they can do it, you click the button and it will move over to this box. Everything that you put in this box is going to be archived to say that the child is able to do it. So you go through and click the ones that the child has met. Now I'm only going to do 4 just to show you. So we save and close this, and save and close that one. Now if I go back into there, you will see that that now starts from number 5, because the previous 4 you've selected that the child can meet them. Now the 4 criteria steps that you've just selected as being met are now in here. If you selected one by accident and you want to bring it back, the all met button down here. So if you have selected one by mistake, all you need to do is press the delete button. Yes. And then when you go back to the multi-entry by age range, you'll see it's back in there to tick at a later date. If you are bringing a child up to date, so that they may have already met all the criteria in 0 to 1 and all the criteria in 8 to 20, you just work your way through them. And just one by one, just click them over. And it does become very quick. Once you're doing it, you'll be surprised at how quickly that actually happens. So what I will do, I'll leave it so that this child has met 11 of the criteria. So you can see in this one that these are all of the criteria that this child has met so far. To select next steps for your child is by using this section of the pink menu. Now, as you've been shown that this button shows the criteria that you've selected as met. This button shows those that you have not met. So when you've done an assessment for a child that there may be some still outstanding from, say, 3 different age ranges, different subjects, that this just offers you an overview of it. So you can see from here that we've selected the first 11 criteria statements, so it starts at 12. So this is all of the things that the child hasn't met. Now to have this open alongside this does help, but once you click on this, that one goes from view. So what I tend to do is just adjust the size of this box so that you can just see that section of the menu, and then bring this one to the side. So all you do is go through the criteria that the child has not met and decide which ones that you feel the child is nearly doing or that you would like to see them progress with. So I could say that the first one is number 14, turn towards a familiar sound, then locate range of sounds with accuracy. So all I do is take note of the age range and the area of the curriculum, and then find it in here. So communication language, and then by clicking on the blue button, it will bring all of the criteria statements that the child has not met. And I can locate the one that I want, and it goes through here. You must remember that with every criteria statement that you send over, you enter the date, and you can do that just by clicking in that box. I will save it and press new, and then I will get one from a different age range just to show you how it's laid out. So I will choose this one, number 45. So I will go to 8 to 20, personal, social and emotional, click to view, and then there we go. And you will see that once I've saved it in there, criteria number 45 is now gone. It will only ever bring up the criteria that's available that's not been met or selected as a focus step. So I'll do one more. And then I'll close this one down. And just to show you with this as well, those criteria that you've selected are now gone from here as well. So this only ever shows you, again, the criteria that has not been selected, either as met or as a focus. So this is a really good overview. Once you have entered the next steps that you want for this child, they can be seen in list form in this button. So these in effect are the next steps that you've chosen for your child. If you would like to write an observation against one of the ones that you have selected as a next step, that can be done in here. So here you can scroll through using the navigation buttons to see the 3 criteria statements that you have selected as a next step. Now what you can do in here is you can track their progress. So on a given date, you can just write a little comment . And then it just tracks it for you. You can add photos into here. If you open up your folder with all of your photos are kept, open it into Paint and resize it. Select all and cut, and then paste it into your database. If you save these, you will see that this information has been passed over onto this section of your main form, where your 3 criteria statements with focus are now kept. You can scroll through them here, so you can see the 3 and you can see the ones that you've started to annotate and the ones that are still left off. If you would like to view this in a list view, that is this button here. So you will see the 3 statements that you have got. You will see that the tracking or your observations are listed there as well. If you do more information or put more pictures against the criteria statements, you can put it in here and that will also get put through. So these 2 are linked, these 2 work together. They're just 2 different ways to format it. You can enter some information into this one, but you have more drop down boxes and more space to write observation comments and more photos in here. If you feel that this is now done, you've printed it, either printed it hard copy or printed it to save as PDF, and you would now like it gone from this section, to archive it here and then save, and that will go. You can now see that within the with focus button you only have 2 because one has been archived. To view the one that's been archived is found in here. If you want to remove it from archive in order to add more information, then take a note of the number 12, go down to all met here, find criteria number 12 and remove the met tick. And when you go back in here, you'll see that it's back in there. So you can add your information, print again, or archive again when you're ready. The current learning objectives for all children, as I've shown you, the 3 for this child are in here. For all children, this lists all of the ones that you are actively working on for all of your children. So the first one is listed the first child, and then it started on the one that I've just showed you, the example with 3. So this is what some people use as their planning, because you can see the children, all of the children in your setting in a list form, and you can go through and you can see the next steps that you've chosen as focus, and you can see which ones you're currently working on with some of the observations and which ones are still outstanding that you haven't seen anything yet. One thing to show you, within that multi-entry by age range, if you see that you can adjust the size of this box, and when you open this one, if you go to adjust the size of this box, the criteria jumps down. All that this is showing up is the criteria that you've selected so far, not necessarily for this child, but it might be other children. But it's irrelevant to you, so all you do is you go down and start on a blank sheet. Even if all of this comes up and you save and close, it does not influence the criteria that you've selected for this child. So as opening them, you can adjust the size, open the second box, adjust the size, and then just scroll down. It won't let you go further than this box. And you can see the same information here, that all this one does is gives you the opportunity to write down a date when you set that criteria or when you've met them. A good way that I feel it is to put in here the date that the child started with you, and copy that through. And then if you were to do a date that you met, which could be today, it will show you how many weeks the child has taken to meet that. That for some of them, as the child goes through and the age range goes up, the number of weeks is going to get higher and higher, but it will show the true progression that the child has made whilst in your setting. Now this is what some people use this, some people don't, so it's entirely up to you whether or not you use that part. It doesn't influence any other part of the database, it's just for your records. If you want to print this, tick this box here, save and print. And then this will show just the one that you are wanting to print. If you want to do 2, find the other one that you want to do, so say this one, and to print, save, and again it will just show the 2 that you've selected to print. The third one still remains in there.